Hey everybody! Welcome to Late Late Horror Show. Dave, I cannot wait to talk about Scully. Anyways, excellent.
Is it just me?
Hey everybody! Welcome once again to Late Late Horror Show. Here we go with the X-Files, Dave. We have no more Kolchak. So what are we gonna change it up with? The X-Files. And Dave's never
217 episodes.
Oh, this is going to be fantastic. The very first one, the pilot, September 10th, 1993. We're going to talk about that. It's funny, it's just called Pilot. It's just a pilot. That's all. But an excellent intro to what we're going to expect from the season, the series. This is a fantastic show, and I can't wait to start talking about it. And Dave says, hello, Dave. How are you? Dave Plouffe.
I'm fine.
Well, he says never should have dumped Gillian Anderson. Let me tell you, Dave, she is one beautiful gal, and still is.
I agree, and that was a big mistake on my part. I'm sorry. Please come back.
Well, things happen, and what are you going to do? But yes, we are going to be on a wild, fun ride with this X-Files podcast that we're going to be doing here, all about about unexplained phenomena, just like the show. And I can't wait to talk about the topics every week that they're going to get into. And this one tonight is going to be all about aliens, UFOs, all the little things that come along with that, like implants and lost time and this and that.
Psychiatric hospitals.
Psychiatric hospitals, yes. Billy is in a psychiatric hospital with Peggy, and Peggy reads to him every night. But we won't give away Billy Miles and his role in this episode. Not that it matters, but well, I guess spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen the X-Files. Dave's only seen a couple. But let me say hello to everybody in the chat. Please be aware I am getting over pneumonia. It's been 2 weeks. Everything is clear. The test is clear. But, man, I am coughing like crazy still. You could probably hear it in my voice. I'll be sipping like crazy. I got cough drops, all that good stuff. But it sucked. Speaking of strange occurrences. Never had it before in my life. But anyways. Hides in long grass. How are you? Trust no one. True words. Edward Stewart, what is going on? Chris W. Phil Jones. Phantom Frequency, what is going on?
Welcome.
J.O.B. How you doing, bud? Yolanda Aguayo. How are you doing? Harry Scott. Oh, my God. Connie Clary. So many people. Chris W. Thank you for my early birthday present. She went on in the description and picked out a gift from my Amazon wish list on there, which I've had it up there for 2 years, and I haven't gotten one gift in 2 years, except Edward Stewart got me a fun hole set, and Jojo got me a few things. Thank you if you're out there. But Chris W. got me the Noir Archive set on Blu-ray. Thank you, Chris W. Much love to you. Thank you. My birthday is coming March 8th. Yeah.
Would that be an assortment of noir movies then?
Yes, there is a collection of 9 films. Yeah, it's even small. I think I need 1.75 now. I need to move up. Oh, man. Ironically, we have a new FBI director. Yes, we do. And listen, I'm not going to get into all of that stuff because just for the fact of I don't want to bring up things that other people might talk about, but yeah, I think that's a great move. A new FBI director. We are getting to find out a lot of things that we've never found out before. Let's see. I hope that one of the things that they release are real documents involving UFO cases and stuff like that. That freedom of information and stuff like that, because I know the JFK stuff is supposed to be coming out. It's on Bondi's desk right now. She's looking at it, so who knows if we'll get it. But Yolanda says I've been sick this week and thrown. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. But no, mine's was pneumonia, and it's this upper flu, head cold, and stuff like that. But let's get into it. Thank you all for being here. Give a thumbs up. Let's go on this ride together, each and every episode. And this is going to be fun, Dave, right?
I had such a great time the other night watching the pilot episode, because I have not watched any of these episodes since 1993, 94, 95, maybe one episode every year for the first few years. And that was it. So I don't know really anything. I did see the movie. I liked the movie. But I was blown away by the pilot. And,
starts right off really, really good.
Oh, yeah. It brings you right in. And as soon as you watch the pilot, it's so good, you realize that this is going to be a wonderful series. It's not just like, hey, yeah, it was okay. It was amazing, and I can't wait until the next episode.
Oh yeah, and again, Dave hasn't seen but 2 or 3 episodes really, and the movie. But listen, we're in store for monsters and monsters galore and other unexplained phenomena, not just alien abduction and stuff like that. Even though the entire series revolves around, that behind the scenes stuff, the smoking man, the people who are in charge, the people who know what's going on and we don't. Cosmic Squirrel, what's going on? Good to see you. Edward Stewart, Ed B, Alina, what is going on? Yolanda's birthday is March 4th. Good. Pisces, right? Yes. Anyways, here we go, Dave. I just can't say enough about the introduction of Mulder and Scully. They're awesome characters to begin with. I mean, you fall in love with their characters right away.
You do. And I don't know about you, but it made me feel younger.
Oh, yeah.
To see a younger Gillian Anderson, a younger David Duchovny. Like, okay, I can step back into this time period instead of feeling like, I got to cut off the gray hair.
Yeah.
And it was just really, really incredible. And I don't know if you want to start talking about the pilot yet, but it brings you in so quickly to this very uncomfortable scene, and but you can't like get away because you want to know what happened. So it was 10 plus for me. It was great.
Oh yeah. And listen, it's an 8.2 on IMDb. I mean, that's a very, very high number. So listen, a lot of people like Raj Ram, what's going on? Hides in long grass. I kept a rattle can of spray paint in my car in case I make an X on the road. Anyone else? Listen, like I said, you get everything that happens during an missing time, an alien abduction in the woods. And when David Duchovny or Fox Mulder puts the X on the ground where the compass goes around, the car starts acting all weird like Benny and Barney Hill and all that. It's just fantastic. It really is. I can't say enough about it. And we can get into it, Dave. Let's start getting into it. This was September 10th, 1993, like I said. And yes, it does make you feel and put you right back during that period watching them. And just feeling a little bit younger. But yeah, such a good introduction to Scully meeting Fox Mulder.
Yes. And I've lost my train of thought now, but I'll come back to it.
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and start with you're entering the woods basically with this character. Yeah. And it kind of reminded me immediately about maybe a Friday the 13th or some other type of horror movie where immediately she's in trouble. It's this single girl, teenager, maybe a little bit older than a teenager, and she's running, but she's in a nightgown, and she's out of breath, and she falls down, and all of a sudden we pan up and we see kind of this ridge, and there's this light that's glowing from behind the ridge, and all of a sudden you see a silhouette of a man, He starts to come closer. Opening credits.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And so listen, I mean, people are really getting involved in saying some. We'll get through talking about the episode, that's for sure. Because yeah, the girls in a hospital gown running through the woods, like Dave said. The light's going to come, and the whole experience, and we'll talk about that in detail. But hello, Crystal Caps. My daughter dressed as an FBI agent. It's Halloween. She was an X-Files aficionado, and hides in long grass. Good point. This was a little weird. The orangutan body in the coffin was. Please tell me this actually happened at some point. It's funny at the very beginning, Dave. They do say, based on actual accounts. So I mean, and we know that. I mean, these accounts are out there, but the orangutan body in the coffin. That's just something. Again, we're going to go deep into kind of talking and discussing and believing in some of this stuff, kind of, I guess. At least I am. Maybe not Dave, but I believe stuff like that happens. And why the orangutan would be in the coffin? I mean, just leave it empty, right? Don't put the body of an alien in there. Why is the body of the alien in this coffin?
That would be silly. You want to put lead in the coffin to weight it down, and that's it.
Yeah. And how did the alien die? How did they put the alien in there? Because part of this episode has to do with them going to find other people who have died in the same way as the woman in the beginning.
Yes, and that scene didn't. That was the only scene I didn't care for, when they went back to the cemetery to dig up the other graves, and like they just missed everybody.
Oh,
And it's. I mean, we'll get there when we get there.
yeah.
But everything in that was just too neat.
Well, I think at that point, well, I mean, yeah. Listen, the episode isn't perfect because we get towards the end of the episode. Yeah, listen, we could jump all over the place, Dave. That everybody, I think, has probably seen it and knows what we're talking about, really. But the scene where you're talking about where they're going back to the grave to see where stuff, let's dig up the other bodies, because all of a sudden, everything's getting destroyed. Evidence, fires starting. People are covering everything up. I think it's because now that Scully's in on this, investigation to try to cover up what Fox Mulder is doing, because Scully is a medical doctor dealing with science and all of that. And Fox Mulder is he had something happen when he was young, and we'll talk about that, with his sister. And he's a psychiatrist or psychologist.
I think psychologist.
Yeah,
But
and
he also gets played as the loon, as the person who's maybe not stable, maybe the person who is maybe kind of like us, very inclusive is not the word, but it's just kind of, leave me alone. This is my world. Well, and I want to present the truth to you. And all they can do is put me in an office downstairs behind these major columns or books or things where you can't even find my office because they think I'm so out there.
Hey, Scott, Lizzie. And again, this happened during, this was 1993, and Art Bell came on the scene right around the same time. And anybody who would discuss topics like this, alien abduction and stuff like that, we know it's been all the way back to the Roswell incident. They talked about alien abduction, the crashed UFO, stuff like that. Everything that they talk about in here, we've heard it. We've heard it with Betty and Barney Hill over and over and over, but it was few and far between throughout the decades, right? All of a sudden, the early 90s come along, and we get hit with this show like the X-Files, and we get all these people that are coming out writing books like Graham Hancock and John Lear and other people who are on Art Bell, and everybody's coming out and telling these stories which are based on real accounts, and everybody's really sounding like loons, like Fox Mulder does in this show. But after that, and every year that goes by, it starts to be, in the paranormal field, it starts to become a normal thing. Listen, we know stuff's going on. Let's start to discuss this,
Yeah,
But
that's a really good point because I was thinking back in high school, all that we really had was that great set of Time Life books
yeah,
where it talked about ghosts and the paranormal and haunted
love those.
houses. Yeah, and you're right. When we hit the 90s, we get a much more of an open conversation about this topic.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I think it opened the door for a little bit more interesting conversations and a lot more digging into facts and actually people. And then we started getting into computers started coming out and all of this was available to people a little bit easier. You know what I mean? At the beginning there in the early
And
90s. So
and that's one thing too, before you talk about Horror Junkie for Life, is that on all of their desks in the offices,
yeah,
there's no computer.
no.
Not even anything, and the laptop scene cracked me up.
Oh, it was funny, yeah, and, well, and we'll get started here with, him being in the basement where all the hidden files are, and Fox Mulder's digging for all of this. But, Horror Junkie for Life, $3 super sticker, super chat, thank you very much, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Much love to you as always. Chris W says, yeah, I mean, share your thoughts on this too. I'm checking out the chat just as much as us talking about it. But Chris W, I was preoccupied with being young back then. I need to hit the X-Files hard to catch up. Well, listen, I was young back then too, but early teenage years, Dave. This was like my early teenage years, and I really was into the paranormal. Even before kind of this, I think what really got me into it was like the Legend of Boggy Creek, stuff like that
Oh, that movie still freaks me out.
when I was younger. And there was a movie called Dreamscape where there was ESP and people battling with their mind. It was a really cool movie, but it got me into, and Carrie, it got me into psychokinesis and the possibility that you could move things. And to this day, Dave, there was me and one buddy. We're sitting there at 14, 15 years old doing these things. We're drawing things down, covering it up, and saying, draw down what you think I got, and we were getting close on some stuff, and we were getting good. And I swear to God, I moved a pencil. But anyways, we'll go.
All right. I think, first of all, you had some time lapse too, because when this came out, I was in my early 20s, not teens.
Oh, okay.
And I did
That's what I want to say,
want to
Dave.
jump back. While you were doing the telekinesis type of thing, I was deep into Egypt with the John Anthony West series and, Mysteries of the Sphinx and all that with Robert Schock. So, and what was his name? Charlton Heston as the host.
Oh, yes. Chuck Huston. Yeah, my voice is a little out of there because of being sick. But no, Raj, it's hard to the chat is going pretty quickly. So if you did say something, listen, I appreciate it, Raj. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, Fluff Chick Productions, $5 super chat. Thank you, Dino and Dave, for what you do for us. Most appreciate it. Thank you. Just having fun, man, talking about our favorite stuff. But thank you, Connie.
And since Lizzie is here, I'm just going to show her bow is right by my side there.
There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
Love the film Dreamscape, a young, beautiful Kate Capshaw. Yes. And again, oh my God, you guys are just, and hello, Ahava. Tony Horror Writer. Hey, Dino. Shakedown is here. Once again, Bob Lazar got us ready in 89 and Fire in the Sky a few months before X-Files was released. We were primed for this. Oh, yeah. Whether that was coincidental or whatever it was, disinformation being pushed out there, who the heck knows? But all I know is we got a great series out of this. And Chris Carter, the writer of this series, Dave, again, we all go.
Maybe
go ahead.
Inspired by Kolchak?
You think? Yeah. So we know that it was inspired by Kolchak. Chris Carter said it himself. So Kolchak is just unbelievable. But we talked about every single episode. So there you go.
And it's also unbelievable. We already have 65 thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up button because we love to hit 100 before the show is over. And we have over 70 people watching right now. So we better get back to the episode.
Okay, let's get back to the episode. I think just the paranormal talk with it goes right along with it. But we
100%,
oh yeah,
100%. And
yeah,
please,
hit that thumbs up. And thank you, Zach Schwartz, for being here. Thank you.
yes.
Okay, Dave.
So we have the opening. Now we have the next scene, and the girl is laying there in the same position we left her, but she is dead. And there are people around her now. There's going to be the coroner or the medical examiner. There's a police detective, and it's
Well, and it was from the light in the sky, right? I mean,
allegedly.
yeah.
And
Well, a man came out who we find out it's Billy in the light coming down, but we'll get to that.
yeah, she's got a couple bumps on her back hip. And
yeah,
then,
a dermatologist, needs to take a look at that. I don't know.
definitely that can be fixed today. And when they roll her over, one of the people that are there just kind of jumps a little bit, gets uneasy, and says, "That's so and so, went to school with my son." And the other medical examiner says, "It's happening again, isn't it?"
Yeah,
And
it
then
happened in
oh my gosh,
1971.
again, so great into just bringing you in and wanting it. It's a show that makes you want to watch it.
Oh yeah, and I was curious on that part. I didn't get. I get that it happened 20 years earlier, because he says it's happening again. This happened in 1971. They state the date. Here it's 1993. It's present time.
I think, with all due respect, I think it was 1989, because all the students had just graduated college. There's only a 4-year gap.
I could have sworn no, with the present, all of the people that are involved in this, but I could have sworn they said 1971. It's happening again. But you listen, you're probably right. I don't know. Yeah, whichever. But yeah, it's
we meet Dana Scully.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Dave. And we meet her in a big way. They bring her in, and you got the smoking man there, and
did he remind you of Walter Matthau?
Not really.
Okay. In that when we first walked past him, I'm like, what's Walter Matthau doing here?
How'd you get that?
I don't know.
Okay, well, the strangest things remind you of things, but the marks on the back. Now that was interesting. I guess I've never seen marks in real life. When we talk about the paranormal, it's usually scoop marks or something like that, that have been taken out of the skin. I've never seen like bumps like that. They almost look like a dermatologist needed to take a look at it. It could have been.
It is, but that was also one thing I didn't care for as much, because it was more vampire to me at first.
Because there were 2 marks. Yeah.
And I'm like, what are they trying to do? Because yeah,
that didn't make a whole lot of sense. 2 bumps in the back in the back, and they both look like just little vampire like bumps, like raised moles, red moles or something like that. It was really weird. Hello, Rob Works. What's going on? I think I said hello to Ahava. WWM, good to see you. It's been a little while, I think, WWM, but good to see you. Jersey Devil, listen, there'll be plenty of time to talk about all the other episodes and the monsters and stuff that they put into these episodes. But yeah, the Dana Scully comes in. They tell her, we want you to oversee what Fox Mulder is doing. And lo and behold, he's down in the basement digging through files and trying to figure stuff out. And I love the introduction between them two in the office and all that.
Do you remember what his comment was when she knocked on the door?
I didn't write it down, but yeah, go ahead, Dave.
FBI is most unwanted.
There you go. Yeah. He was being kind of I guess he's had people pushed in his direction to kind of try to calm him down from the FBI, the higher ups, because he's not making any sense. Like, he's digging into stuff he shouldn't be, and they kind of just push him off and say, yeah, he's just a little nutty, but they keep him on. So there you go. But bringing on Dana Scully, she kind of starts. I mean, towards the end of this episode, she starts to back him up on what's going on. So now they've got double trouble, right, Dave? I mean, they're both backing each other up.
They do, they do. And they tell her, right at the beginning, we want you to write reports basically to debunk what this guy is coming up with.
Pencils on the ceiling cracked me up. Yeah. Down in the cellar there. Yeah, it's funny that he's way down. But you know what? That's how it was. They put everything down below. Basement is where everything goes to, unless it's Kolchak and it goes in the bathroom.
That's true.
The filing cabinets.
The filing cabinets.
I love that. Yeah, that's great.
But he starts showing her slides of the dead girl. Yes. And I love, again, the antiquated, like literally the click of the slide machine as he's going through. And he's all, check this out. And he's all, this is the organic compound found in her body. And it was like, it was organic, but like she couldn't identify it. And she's got a medical background.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she needs to get the feet on the ground. So they end up getting on a plane and flying out to Oregon, where all of this is taking place.
Yep. 8 a.m. We're going to Oregon.
The tasteful thickness.
I saw that.
This episode is brought to you by Wild Root Cream Oil. Okay. I'll take that sponsor, right? Anyways. But yeah.
Cremo hair tonic, right?
Right. But they're on the plane. They're going to Oregon. No.
Oh, no, I don't like the plane episode.
Oh, you don't like it? Yeah, no. Well, I'm like, what? Okay, they're on the plane. They're getting ready to go. Fox has got his headphones on. He's actually laying back. Don't even got his seatbelt on, I don't think. And Dana Scully's right there. She's scared and then the plane starts to look like it's going to crash. It's doing a 360, man. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's over there still going like this. Oh, this is old hat to me, man. But just a little disruption in the episode.
There was some major turbulence, and it made me clench up. I do not like flying.
You know why that started shaking like that? There was a UFO on the left wing, but they never talked about that. It was cut out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's 42 minutes. They got to get this done in.
Oh yeah, it's not a very long show, but commercials got longer and episodes got shorter.
Yeah, and so then they get a rental car.
They do,
and they drive. The medical examiner. They're talking about him signing the autopsy, and different medical examiners, and basically possibly lying about what he signed. But during this time too, as we mentioned earlier in the chat with the guy who has the spray paint can in his trunk, the car electronics go a little crazy, and Mulder pulls over and pops open the trunk and sprays the X on the ground. Yeah,
so he knows where the spot is if it happens on the way back, I guess. Anytime something like that happens, spray a big X on the ground and you find out. But they arrive at Bellefiore, Oregon, and yes, there's been some tampering and people aren't. So there's a cover up going on in this town.
There is, and hello to
Jojo.
Maple Goose is here too.
Maple Goose. Oh yeah. Kash Patel will now give access. Listen, I hope Kash Patel gives us access to not Scully and Mulder, to see those long sought after X-Files. Listen, Clinton promised us that. We didn't get it, but I hope so. And hey, Jojo, what is going on? Good to see you. The difference in how Dave and Dino pronounce Oregon. How do you say it, Dave?
Oregon.
Again, yeah, G-I-N-G-E-N is how you say it?
And on the West Coast, that's how we're taught.
And you're closer to Oregon.
It's just north of me, yes, by 1,000
and you miles. Mispronounce it. Why is that?
No, I don't mispronounce it.
Yes, you do. G-O-N. Dave, how do you? It's G-O-N. How's that pronounced in Oregon?
It's Oregon.
Whatever. Not gonna happen. Anyways,
the left side, the right side, move them together.
Move them together, right? Just like this.
Since we're talking about the 90s, that's what we do. No.
Now you got me sidetracked with Oregon. Listen, it's
Well,
Oregon.
first of all, I've never seen a city like this. It's absolutely beautiful, right on the coast. Why would you want to leave? And why aren't cities like that more populated?
It's Pacific Northwest, man. It's tons of forest. Do a poll.
Just says do a poll.
Oregon. Thank you, J.O.B.
J.O.B. from. Is he from the West Coast?
The day you pronounce G-O-N, gen or gen, I listen, I need to see that. I need to see that in any language. Anyways, let's move on. We got a whole episode to talk about, Dave.
We do. We
do. And we are in Oregon. So we are now. Is it Oregon then? Or is it or is it Oregon? Oregon.
All right, look at this. Okay.
Pacific Northwest, we're up in the Oregon.
All right. So we're digging up the body. It's a very disturbing scene. And it also reminded me, because I'm an art person, and it's Vincent van Gogh's body was exhumed after his death because he was actually buried outside the churchyard at Auvers, because back when he died in 1890, they deemed his death a suicide, and he's not allowed in the churchyard. After the death of his brother, who's buried inside the churchyard, they decided to exhume Vincent's body, put it next to his brother in 1915. So 25 years later.
Wow. Okay. And Raj Ram, did Mulder ever find his sister? Listen, we got a long series to go through, and yes, that is the mystery. Dave, let's really quick. You want to talk about the mystery there with his sister and what got him into this?
Well, there's a very poignant interaction between Mulder and Scully as
a little bit later on.
Yeah, as Mulder is laying seductively on his bed.
Oh man, sleepover. They were having a sleepover, Dave.
He's just and Mulder's like on the ground, is like how we would be as teenagers, kind of kicking back, playing Atari, kicking our knees up and stuff. And he's going, he goes, basically my sister disappeared one day. No one saw her leave, and she's never been found. And I think she was like 12 or 14 years old, but he had gone through hypnosis, and through this hypnosis, it was basically, there was a bright light. Someone came into the room, someone took her, and he couldn't do anything to help. And this is something that's really bothered him.
Yeah. I mean, it's your typical abduction. If a lot of people who do get regressed back, they're frozen. They can't do anything about it. And evidently, at 8 years of age, his sister was taken, and just like everybody else, the bright light comes, takes him away. And you will find this out later down the line, and I don't know what season it is. It's probably right around 5, 6, or maybe it was the movie that they showed it in. I can't remember, but they do. No, okay, so it's a later season that they do actually show a bit of what happened with his sister. So that storyline continues throughout this, but it's what's driving Fox Mulder. I mean, can you imagine your sister just disappearing and never to be seen again? No body, no nothing. I mean, listen, back in the day, I mean, 60s and before, 70s and before, a lot of things like this happened, and people just disappeared, and you never found them again. And what do you even now, Dave, missing 911 and 411, missing 911, missing 411, and all the people who go missing every year. I mean, it's a scary thing. And how are they going missing?
Even with all our technology today, and it's I remember one person saying, "Hey, it's not a crime to disappear," because some of these people do want to disappear. And speaking of disappearing, I'm still looking for my cousin.
Seriously?
I have a cousin who
went missing
purposely.
Oh,
how
do you know that? If he's missing, how do you know?
First of all, it's a girl, and she was taking care of a great aunt of mine in Kansas, and my great aunt died, and she's all, we're going to have a celebration of life in a couple of weeks. Here's the date. I'll have everything from the farmhouse, and estate boxed up for everyone, and people showed up to the farmland, and everything was gone, and she was gone too, took everything, and has been gone for 30 years.
Oh yeah,
Never resurfaced.
no, okay, yeah. Well, that makes sense. Yeah, definitely. And that's funny, Mr. Ed. And Ahava, how do you know that there's not fairies and trolls? We call them fairies and trolls, but there are other names for those types of things and spirits. Again, that's a whole different topic to talk about, but I would love it. And I have talked about fairies and trolls and such with past guests on Paranormal Into the Night, who have, they're basic spirits of the earth. Very interesting topics to talk about. But anyways, so yeah, oh my God, Dave, this is so hard to stay on track and get through this. But
It is.
I love when they're go ahead.
I was going to talk about the coffin falling.
Oh, that's exactly where I was going, because
All
that
right.
was actually, of course, you saw it from a mile away because it was freaking. Anyway, go ahead.
So they're lifting up this coffin, and you can see one of the straps is kind of broken or tearing. It ends up breaking the coffin. It looked like a Three Stooges thing. It started rolling time and time again. Everyone's running after it. It was really kind of a comedic part of the episode, and it hits this other tombstone and stops, and it opens up, and people look at it and they're all like, "Oh my God," because it's not a young woman who is just buried.
No, it's nothing like who should be in there. And DIY Craft, what's going on? What a great show, the entire series. Yes, yes, yes. Hopefully you enjoy me and Dave talking about each and every episode, which J.O.B. It is going to be a task that we will hit and we will try to get through. Who knows how many years we'll do this? I mean, we're already 2 years in, with Dave. So there you go.
We are, and I guess if we did an episode every day, we could be done in 9 months. But I'm kind of busy. So.
Oh, well, yeah, that's not going to happen. Anyways, DIY Craft Q, thank you for a $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Much love to you. And yeah, so it is kind of funny. Coffin opens up and they all, oh my God. So Fox and Scully take it back because they're going to examine this. This is, not a human. What the heck is this? It's got an elongated face, long fingers, and just looks very strange. And of course, when it's up on the table, Fox is saying, listen, this is an alien, and Scully's kind of going, well, it's mammalian. And she was kind of just going to push it off and not take x-rays or specimens or anything. And Fox says, let's take some specimens. Let's get some x-rays and stuff like that. I mean, come on. That's what you need to do, right? Hey, sweet Indigo.
Yeah. And he talked about, we need to run these tests. And he was very, very adamant about these. And it was just interesting seeing an autopsy and also seeing her dressed up again, because I don't want to say she's a master of disguise, but we see her in a lot of different situations, coming to work, traveling, doing an autopsy. Later on, we'll talk about something else. Mm-hmm. But, David Duchovny is like basically the same outfit the entire show, and she's got major wardrobe changes.
Well, yes, and I think that's her allure throughout this episode. Listen, they were going for some sex appeal. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah,
David Duchovny himself, he's a very handsome man, and Gillian Anderson. I mean, come on. Later on in that hotel, she's getting the lights go out. What's the first thing you go do? Let's go take a shower. I'm with you, Dana. But anyways,
well, I've had many a person go, David Duchovny. I'm like, no.
Wait, what?
Never mind. So,
you mean if you were, would you, David Duchovny? Is that what you're talking about? Listen, he's a handsome guy.
Yeah.
He's aged very well too. I mean, I'll give him that.
Okay.
So is Gillian Anderson. Listen, you got to check out The Fall, like I told you.
I checked out one where she was Margaret Thatcher.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
kids, I was like, this is not good.
no. Anyways, listen, Nathan, she's like, this is mammalian. I think it's orangutan. She kind of, she must have seen plenty of X-rays of orangutans. I mean, because she's like, I think
Oh,
this is orangutan, specifically a orangutan.
I thought that was an orangutan.
And well, yeah.
Never mind. All right.
No, you're right.
So,
It could be an orangutan. What was I saying? An orangutan.
Orangutan.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right.
Listen,
So
man.
now we're in the
Okay.
hotel room where she is sitting Indian style on a bed with a pillow and this weird thing that could have been a laptop, but it was like this tall, this wide. And it was great because in one of the early seasons of Frasier, they're typing on a laptop like that just the same. And you can hear the clicking. And it's, you hear her voiceover talking about, like all the things that, well, she's not voiceover. It's listening to the tape of her talking during the autopsy.
Yeah, I mean, were there laptops back? There had to have been some kind of
Yes, but I wrote down they were no longer.
no. Yeah, no, 80s. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But you do see in a little vial, a little gray metallic implant that she found in one of the x-rays in the navel cavity. So yeah. But again, what threw me off was, why was the alien in the coffin? I don't understand. But we'll move on from that. From that, we got...
Could she have metamorphosized into an alien?
Well, listen, I'm trying to go back to the series, and I can't pick from all of the episodes to find out why the alien, because maybe there's a reason why this alien, and the alien had an implant too, right there in the, I mean, because this was an alien. This was not a human body. So it is what it is. But why? I have no idea. Anyways, they find out about the psychiatric hospital, and
yeah, but not yet.
No.
So she's talking about, at this point,
89 thumbs up. Yeah,
let's writing down like about the nasal implant, and then we hear this knock on the door, and she's all, I gotta hide this, and she hides the nasal implant, and it's David Duchovny. She goes, who is it? Steven Spielberg.
Funny.
It's 4 a.m. and he's all, let's go for a run. Her comment, no thanks, and she closes the door.
Oh, Dave, yeah, it's orangutan. Listen, I know. Listen, I do have an East Coast accent, but listen, we're not fighting over Oregon, because there's no way "gon" is "gin" or "gan." Anyways, but yes, it's not your orangutan. Whatever. Okay.
Now we're at the psychiatric hospital.
Yes, because they found out that there's 2 people alive still, but yes, from that class, because see, everybody is being targeted from that year and that class at that school.
Yes. And they were all friends.
They were all friends. And it's interesting, the reasoning behind it. It's because basically Billy, who's lying in a coma in bed at the hospital, and Peggy, the other victim, if he's laying in a coma, Dave, why is he in a psychiatric hospital?
That was weird.
And even Peggy, I get if she's, because she can at least talk, but she's in a wheelchair.
That's important.
Reading books to Billy. Yeah. And she's like, he listens, he hears me, kind of, yeah. The band orangutan and the jam for the 70s. Oh boy. Listen, my cold and having pneumonia did not help the way I'm speaking tonight. I can't believe I'm not coughing as much as I am. I think because I'm talking so much. Maybe that's a good thing, but
I think you got it out earlier when we were hanging out.
Oh my God. Yeah, poor Dave staring me and watching me hack out a lung. There was a Seinfeld episode, we always have to reference it. It was the one where Jerry's girlfriend was in the apartment, and she was walking around nude, and she always walked around nude. She did everything nude. She cooked nude. But one day she was fixing a bike, and he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, down on the ground, like, and he's like, later talking to George, he goes, that's not a good naked. You got everything folding over, flopping kind of sideways. It's not a good naked to sit there working on a bike bench. Anyways, let's move on.
Thank you. I thought we were going to San Francisco myself.
Oh, really?
But
well, we could always go there, but so yeah, Billy's in a coma, and
I forget what the reason is, but everyone gets upset, and Peggy falls out of Peggy falls out of her wheelchair.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a Seinfeld that, there was an episode on the wheelchair too, where George his father helped out people in need, and they got her a used wheelchair to save money, George and Kramer, and she was going down a hill and the brakes gave out, and she just anyways, okay, so Peggy flies off of her wheelchair, and she's got bloody nose, everything else, and freaks out, and we see those 2 little vampire marks on the back.
Yes. So we know that she is infected as well, and obviously with the bloody nose, we're going, okay, there's a tie into the nasal implant there as well.
Yes.
And I wrote down here, Mulder suggests at this time that they were abducted. So we should go to the forest.
Thank you, Ahaba, and thank you, Connie. Yes, please hit those links above if you care to join the channel or Patreon or anything, and check the description for Dave's link to his channel. And I need to do this and cough. Go ahead, Dave.
I have over 500 subscribers now, so thank you all for watching my gardening videos and cruising around with me and Bo.
Yes, Dave's channel is growing.
It is.
If you love flowers and just watching somebody walk around the garden and talk about his plants
in good weather,
that's a plus, Dave. Hey, MOR, what's going on?
It was a beautiful 80 degrees today. It's going to be 90 on Wednesday, so it's going to be
really cool. And the 90s on Wednesday. Okay, so Mulder's, they decide to go back to the forest. Why?
Let's go to the forest because we want to find the place where this one girl died. We want to investigate, and it is raining torrentially. I mean, it is nasty, nasty rain where I'd be all, can we go tomorrow?
Yeah, let's go back to the hotel and do some investigating.
And then it's odd because it's raining around them while they're taking up like the soil samples and everything. So like they're all, okay, this is the spot. And, Scully takes some soil samples because the soil's kind of weird. Yeah. Mulder goes to check something else. So they get separated. And like all of a sudden, all big lights come on. And you see the guy at the top of the hill again. And you think, this is it for Scully. She's going to get abducted. But she doesn't. It's just like the sheriff.
The sheriff's up there and he's like, hey, what are you guys doing? This is not, you guys can't be involved in this. This is going, and there's a reason behind that. Hello, Gigi. Gigi, what's going on? Oh, yeah. And please go check out Dino's Duck Soup, my comedy old time radio channel, where tomorrow there will be an all day stream of another Jack Benny stream. Stream number 11, and they all are fixed up and sound great. So there you go. If you encounter any breaks for a minute, it's because the music was cut out, because every single Jack Benny show it hits you. Yeah. But anyways, love Jack Benny. Some good episodes tomorrow. Anyways, we're at 85 thumbs up. Please give us some thumbs up, you guys. Please and thank you. Always appreciate that. We'd like to get to 100 before the end of this one, our premiere episode of the X-Files podcast. And yes, so it's the sheriff up there, and there's, go ahead, Dave.
The sheriff's there. He's got his big lights out on top of his truck, and he's all, you guys got to get out of here or I'm going to arrest you. And they're all, hey man, no problem. And they get into their car and they start driving away. But Gillian Anderson goes, look at this soil sample. And of course, Mulder pulls out his compass, because we all had compasses back in the 1993.
Well, he would have one, but
so it starts spinning around like it's like uranium or something.
Because he
And
knows in these areas that the compass is going to go crazy because there's always some kind of weird stuff going on. And yes, I have heard of the Jersey Devil, Rajram, and have talked about it in my paranormal shows if you've never heard of him many, many times. But yes, a very interesting story back in the day. Okay, Dave.
and I'm sorry to hear about Maggie the cat.
Maggie the cat?
Passed away this morning at 1.
Oh, Gigi, so sad. Sorry, Gigi. Much love to you. Yes, prayers for Maggie, the cat. It's sad when a cat goes. Man, when my cat socks went and shriveled down to hardly nothing. Oh my God, saddest thing I ever seen in my life. Anyways, so back, yeah, this sheriff has. Go ahead, Dave. There's a story behind the sheriff and his son. The sheriff's son is Billy. Miles
Yeah,
at the hospital.
we find that out later.
We do. We do.
And yeah, so there is some like inner family stuff going on. But Mulder also checks his watch at this time.
He's protecting his son.
In a way, 9:03. It's 9:03. And ironically,
yeah, because they're driving and the light comes on, the UFO's overhead,
Yeah, so it's in about 10 more minutes for you. All of a sudden there's this flash of light and everyone's like blinded, and then
I love that little, like, everything freezes for a second. I love how they did that, kind of. You didn't.
Yeah,
well,
but then he checks his watch again, and it's 9:12.
Yeah,
and the car just stops, and it's raining, and Mulder gets out and Scully gets out, and it's raining still, and they're drenched.
He's telling Scully too. He's like, listen, the car went crazy. It died. Nothing I can do. Everything's dead on the car, the light overhead, and we're missing time. And that's when they got out of the car and started going up into the street, and they noticed the X.
Right. So we're just right exactly at that same spot where car kind of malfunctioned prior.
She freaked out. She's like,
she
wow.
does. And she argues for science. She goes, this, blah, 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 blah. Science takes precedence. And Mulder's quip back was, not in this zip code.
Not in this zip code. Well, again, this episode, the pilot episode, was a little bit different than the ongoing. Not that she's not siding with Fox Mulder in the subsequent series and seasons, but she does start to become a lot more of the, it's science. Listen, she's really a non-believer and a skeptic more than this episode. I think she was more open in the pilot here than the next episodes that keep coming and coming. She's really puts up a brick wall and is just like, listen, Fox, no, there's an explanation for everything. But she was a bit open here on a lot of this stuff in this
she's going to be quite open in the next scene too.
Yes, she is. Go for it, Dave. They're back.
All right. So it is literally, this is what one of my favorite scenes for a couple of reasons. Number one, we get to see Gillian Anderson kind of get undressed because she's working on stuff, but the lights go out. And in 1993, you don't have battery backup for anything. So luckily she's got some candles, and it's going to be a, date night with herself or whatever. She undoes her gown, and she's going to take a shower. And to me, what this reminded me of was Psycho. Where we're
really?
Absolutely, we're going to have the shower scene from Psycho right here.
Okay, well, I get it, but yeah, Dave, I'm sorry, but every motel and shower scene can't remind you of Psycho.
But it does.
Okay, it does. Dave's obsessed with Psycho shower scene.
That's one of my favorite movies. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So then, as she's getting undressed, she like, hey, what are these bumps back here?
Well, she's beautiful, Dave.
Oh my God.
Did I say that? Oh my God. I think I have. Yeah. Yay, 100 likes. Not yet, Mr. Ed. We're only at 90. We need 10 more likes.
We're heading there.
Yeah. But listen, again, they're doing a little sex appeal here in this show,
Absolutely.
And
next thing we know, boom, 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 she's at Mulder's door. Mulder, I want you to look at something.
And she's got a
And
robe on, and he's got a candle in his hand, and
yeah. And he, checks out, and you can see the bumps just like on the other bodies. And he lies to
they
her.
show it. Well, they show 3 of them.
Yes.
Go ahead.
But he lies to her. He goes, "Hun, those are just mosquito bites." And she's all, "Oh, thank God." And then she throws her arms around him. And
Wait
then
a second. What do you mean? Did she lie to him? Those aren't were mosquito bites.
he lies to her and says those are mosquito bites.
I think they were mosquito bites.
I don't think they were. No, they were exactly what the dead bodies, soon to be orangutans, had.
But there were 3 of them.
So
There were only 2 on every other victim.
she got an extra test.
And I don't think in the upcoming episodes that's ever remarked about again.
Okay, I don't know, but I'm saying that they were abducted too. In that
He said, "Listen, I was out there in the woods. There were a lot of mosquitoes, and I got some too. Listen, don't get me back on Oregon."
But again, why would the mosquitoes just bite in that particular spot? Coincidence? I don't think so.
Her blouse was up a little bit on that part.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think she got abducted. She got shots or whatever they do to you up there. I don't know.
She got shots. Oh, you're coming up to Oregon, and you need inoculated is what you need. We have special there bugs who give you all the diphtherias. Listen, anyways, okay, good one. He said they were mosquito bites, but they didn't look like mosquito. They looked exactly like the marks on the other people. I give you that, but there were 3 of them. And I don't think they ever talked about it in the episodes after that. But anyways, we'll move on. Whew.
This is where we get the sister story, because they stay up late talking about their lives. But what's also creepy about this episode, or this section of the episode, is that someone is outside watching them.
Oh, I do like, I'm sorry, going back to when the sheriff was there and she picked up the dirt, and she talked about that. Well, Fox picked up the dirt. No, or was it Scully? Anyways, they pick up dirt, and it's that dry dirt, like, it's probably radiated or whatever. But she starts talking about it's I think there's a cult going on, and there's sacrifices going on. And back in the 80s, any kind of thing like that, they would just say it's a satanic cult, sacrifices are going on. So anyways, during the 90s, that kind of slipped away and whatever. I did put humma at the shower scene, but I did write that down there. But okay, go ahead, Dave.
So they're talking. There's someone outside watching them. The phone rings, and it's a girl. Doesn't give her name, but she says that Peggy is dead.
Peggy is dead. Yes, they were at the psychiatric hospital earlier with Miles and Peggy. Peggy freaked out, and they're going to return to the scene because Peggy is now dead, and we'll talk about that in a second.
And
go ahead.
Do you know how bad I want an FBI badge, so that in a big accident and that's
you can just hurry up and rush in,
I can just go FBI and run through? I mean, if anyone can make that happen in a future movie, I would love to be an extra to do that.
That's funny. Well, my brother's a sergeant for a police agency over little ways from me, and he gave me an actual badge. I should actually show it, and it looks like an actual badge. And anyways, it doesn't mean much, but yeah, at times, listen, that's against the law too, but I wonder if it would get you into certain places, if you use it. Anyways, my mom also, he gave her one. she thought it was so cool. She would flip it down like, and I'm like going, Mom, that looks weird. Come on, stop it. anyways, okay, so reboot.
Again, and a great episode of Frasier is the dad pulls out his badge, because the dad's a police officer, Frasier's dad, and they're gonna take the dog away because the dog doesn't have a rabies shot or a certificate, and they went into another state or whatever, and or they went into Canada, I think it was, and they're the dad is all like, oh, you know, here's a picture of me and him in front of the Seattle Space Needle just to show you this is where we're from. And the guy's all, oh, I see you're a cop. Oh, that's right. I am retired.
Oh man, too much. Chris W does mention that. Listen, I think since the inception of my channel, I've like kind of crapped on reboots and remakes and all that. I don't think classics should be made either. But you know, we did get it, which had its flaws, but it was pretty good. To say, listen, yeah, I just don't like reboots. Listen, everybody, I need to do a full stream on the new Nosferatu movie, because I don't know what the hype was, Dave. I thought it was complete and utter crap. I thought the Nosferatu character, which looked more like a Vlad the Templar, you know, Vlad the
Impaler.
The Impaler. Thank you, Dave. I'm still sick, you guys. Vlad the Impaler looked to him. He looked like a big old, you know, Hungarian man from, you know, back in the day. And he looked, I'm like, that's not Nosferatu, man. And what's her name was doing something on the bed like she was possessed. Listen, I'm on the complete opposite side of this. I want to rant about this whole movie. Visually, it might have looked stunning, but what the hell? I can look at a picture, a painting. The movies, I don't get it. I don't get, unless you're not a fan of the old black and white version or even the 70s Nosferatu film. It's almost exactly the same, but Nosferatu himself, it's Nosferatu. Why does he look like an old man with a mustache, Dave? Anyways, I won't talk about that here. I just don't get it. I might be misguided, and I might be one of those people who just like, don't touch that old stuff. You want to talk about, and people go, best film ever, maybe. I'm like, you're on some drugs, man. Yeah, Dave's going, I know, I'm going on a rant. I'm sorry, dude. You know, sometimes, man, these topics just get me going. Okay, Dave, I'm shutting up. Continue where we're at.
I thought we were ready for episode 2, but back in episode 1, we're visiting the crash site. Peggy basically ran across the street and gets run down by a big oil tanker. And they're all, she's running. She's wheelchair bound. Yeah. But she was running out to the woods. She gets hit by this truck. And when Scully is checking her wrist watch, it stopped at 9:03 at the exact same time that they had their encounter as well.
Okay, and real quick, Dave, I swear it'll take 30 seconds. Chris W says, I love the story, but I agree the Nosferatu should have looked like a vampire, not the corpse with bad breath. Yes, and you say you love the story, Chris W. And again, to each their own. If you like the movie and you enjoyed it, then good. I would say go back and watch some of the original Nosferatu stuff. And if you have, revisit it, then come back to this. Of course, it's a good story because it's already been written and done over and over and over and over and over again. But the things and changes he made in it, like going to the gypsy village, that was ridiculous. I can go on and on and on. Her in bed being called by the vampire across the seas like she's possessed. There was an actual exorcist scene in there, Dave. Okay, I'm sorry. Go. I'm done. All
right. They leave the oil tanker.
Dave's ready.
They go back to the hotel. The hotel is on fire.
Oh, they're burning everything.
Totally. So all their
Fox goes, oh no, the x-rays,
all the autopsy results, everything is gone. And then there's this girl that comes out of the crowd and she's all, please protect me. And her name is Teresa. Yeah. And she is like the daughter of the medical examiner.
Yep.
And next scene is we are in Monk's Cafe and they are having some coffee and she's talking about all her friends because they had gone to high school together, and she knew Peggy and everything.
Yeah.
I believe that she also has the marks on her, and she thinks she's going to be the next person to be killed. So she's really scared. And of course, Scully goes, "I'm going to protect you." But just then the dad busts in. "Where have you been? Come with me." And she's like, "I don't want to go with you."
Well,
And
that's when I was like, they're adults, right? I mean, they're adults. Why?
oh,
Why?
yeah. I mean, this is early. They're in their early 20s as well. So,
Yeah. And he's
but
like treating her like she's 15 years old.
and she kind of did look on that young side as well, where it wasn't like where you would question it like an older person would, but definitely. And then when she's taken, they Mulder and Scully look at each other and go, "Hey, let's go dig up those graves of those other kids."
It is good that it is a good thing that you make lots of notes, Dave. You have a plan for Dino's rants. Well, no, when Dino goes on a rant, he just goes on a rant, and Dave just like shuts out. Dino, this is an X-Files episode podcast. Come on. But yeah, everything is just gone. They're just getting rid of everything, all the records, all the material. They're covering themselves up
They
like in
are.
real life, Dave.
They are. So we're
And
back
it's a
at
wool blanket too.
indeed. They're back at the cemetery,
Yeah.
and the graves have already been dug up.
Yeah,
And
this was Dave's favorite
this
part.
is what bothered me. Nice clean cuts, soil, not even anywhere. It's just like one of those haunted mansion music videos where you just look, there's an open grave.
Yeah, I mean, take a little bit more time and cover it back up, and
100%.
yeah, it didn't make no sense, but nothing's perfect.
Then Mulder says, "I know who did it." And it's raining on them too. And like Scully's all, "Who?" He goes, "Billy Meyer." Or Miles, sorry.
I know. I kept saying Meyer too, Dave.
Oh my gosh.
Michael Myers in my yeah. Go ahead.
Well, I'm thinking Billy Myers, the abduction.
Oh no, yeah, no, that's
Fire in the sky. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so then
Not
we're back
Fire
to
in
the
the Sky.
hospital, and there's Billy. Billy's not been anywhere. He hasn't been out of this hospital in 4 years.
Yeah. Well,
And
and Scully sees the dirt on his feet, and that's kind of a dead giveaway. Yep. Because Fox says earlier, I think Billy's the one that's killing these
Yep.
people. I don't know how he came up with that, but in a roundabout way, that's what's been going on, which we'll talk about here in about 5-10 minutes. Yeah.
all right. Or maybe even sooner.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Dave.
Well, they decide that they need to go back for another soil sample because the other one was burned in the fire. So they head out back to the forest one more time. Again, it's raining. I mean, they used more water in this episode than I think in the Norliss tapes. And as they're going into the forest, they're kind of running a little bit, and Scully gets like a rifle butt to the side of the head, and she gets knocked down. And the guy says, "You keep messing, you keep coming back here, you keep pushing."
I wanted to get him, man. You don't hit Scully in the head, man. No way. Nope. Yeah.
But then we got
sorry, I keep looking at the chat. I'm just so thrown off, but it's okay.
that's okay. The chat has been very, very active.
Oh, I love that you guys have been so
thank
interactive and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna have to go back and reread.
Oh yeah, silent version, 79 version, the best, definitely. Again, I mean, I will just say real quick again, that new movie, it's just, if somebody wants that Eggers guy, if he wants to take credit, I know, Dave, you can get up and go and do something. If that Eggers guy wants to take credit for the story that's already been a story and been done over and over and over again, and just because he can get great filming locations and make the snow fall and look pretty and visually, even that I didn't listen. Anyways, I don't know. Anyways,
Well,
okay.
It's so disappointing too, because I remember when this was just about to come out, and you're all they're talking about this is the greatest horror film in such a long time.
Yeah. I thought something would come of it, but and listen, the Nosferatu character so blew it for me that it wasn't even funny. And how many times can you look at the same set scene of the story? Like, you know, he cuts himself and he goes, oh, you know what I mean? I mean, it's just, but then when you get a stupid looking character in that scene, it just did, so many things were wrong with this. So many things was wrong. But anyways, they filmed the first few seasons of the X-Files in Vancouver, hence so many episodes in the woods and rain. Well, there you go.
Terrific. I wanted to say hello to Bubba.
Hey, Bubba.
Because Bubba normally catches us because he has to work on Sundays. So thank you.
Yeah. And should I see if we got 100 thumbs up?
We have 96. And we have _Reven_. Welcome to our Talk of the X-Files / Nosferatu. And Sally Skellington.
Yeah, and the Mummy and the Monkey. Hello, everyone. We haven't seen it yet, but we do love X-Files.
Oh.
What haven't you seen yet? You've seen the X-Files, I take it, but you haven't seen Nosferatu. I would be really interested to see if you felt the same way I did. The Mummy and the Monkey. Maybe not. Listen, I really dissected that movie, and there were so many things wrong with that movie. And people are praising it. That's the thing that's bugging me, Dave. It's like, this is the best thing ever. No, go back and watch the silent version. Go back and watch the 1979 version, Herzog version. Unbelievable. And again, something can look visually unbelievably a masterpiece, like visually. There's a scene where the snow's falling and the light behind it, and it's throwing off this bluish hue, and there's that scene kind of is where the stagecoach, which has nobody in it, but I know you hate this, Dave, but I got to continue. The stagecoach is going down the trail and stuff, and it turns and the door opens. I thought that was so and it turns inch by inch, step by step, but it did not.
Falls.
Even that, I thought was okay. That's the stagecoach scene. That's what you're going to show me. Anyways, this is. I don't want this to turn. I'm sorry, you guys. We've talked about the whole episode, and
we haven't finished it.
I know. Let's finish it, Dave. Let's finish it. We've got 15 minutes. Go ahead.
Well, can you check? Because I think Ed Stewart and a couple others said we finally got 100 thumbs up.
Oh, let's see. Oh boy,
I'm
gonna sneeze too. Just getting over my sickness. 100 thumbs up. We are exactly at 100 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Thank you, each and every one. Appreciate the 100 thumbs up tonight for the introduction to our X-Files podcast. So thank you. Okay, Dave, let's finish this out, man. Strong.
All right. So
what's going on here?
Mulder hears or sees Teresa. She's running toward the opening. He's following her, and one of the other guys, maybe it's the detective, he's there, and
everybody's rushing to the woods, man.
Right. We're getting to the climax of the whole thing. We've got the lights from the UFO. We got Billy there now as well, and Mulder. They're going to shoot Billy, and Mulder
the sheriff, he runs over there because he sees Billy picking up Teresa, and he does get her in his arms, and the sheriff goes, but yeah, like you said, Fox kind of bulldozes him down, and yeah.
But I would have, anyway, I don't know what I would have done, but the thing is that he picks her up, light goes away, all of a sudden Billy's normal, and Teresa wakes up, and I'm like, wouldn't she be dead if this same thing happened to the first person? Why are we here?
Yeah. What's interesting is, it's like you thought that it was going to take Billy and Teresa away. They were going to go away in the light.
Yeah.
And be abducted. But the whole storyline is Billy is in control of all of the other classmates. And he says, when he starts to talk about and be interrogated by the FBI, at the FBI office next, that's where we're going, because he's normal now, and so is Teresa, like you said, Dave. He said, well, we saw a light, I was told to gather my friends and gather people for testing. So the aliens got into his mind, he said, with some kind of implant, which was there. I don't look at the chat, Dino. Don't look at the chat. Okay. Because I'm being thrown off just looking at Vampire, The Hunger, David Bowie. Oh, this is one of the best. That movie is so good. Okay, so Billy's in there. Their marks are gone too, Dave. So the aliens, it seems, Dave, the tests did not work. So they erased all signs that would lead to them being involved in any kind of testing or experimenting on humans, which is strange because I don't think I've ever heard of that happening in any real account stories when it comes to alien abduction at all. So that was an interesting spin on the ending of this.
All right.
Do you concur?
I'm going to, just because we're getting to the bottom of the hour and I want to go home.
That's the only reason.
I am home.
You are home.
But I want to.
Cousin Patty is here.
Hi, Cousin Patty.
That interview at the end is very creepy. It is very. And hello, Melissa. Oh, that's a Hava. What's going on? Josh Taylor is here. What's going on? Good to see you. Make sure you. Maple Goose is here. Hey, Maple Goose. And Catherine Kelly. Best movie about old. Yeah. Okay. Good to see each and every one of you. But yeah, listen, we got a few more minutes. I mean,
I know we do, and we had 100 thumbs up, so it's fantastic. But
they just want to get out. We got 100 thumbs up. Let's get the hell out of here. Podcast is over. Next episode. There we go.
No, but I really like the after part of this. I didn't like the Billy interview or anything like that. But yeah. I love when they're
a bit creepy, but yeah.
I love when they're back in the office. You got the guy smoking back in the corner.
The smoking man, yeah.
They're talking to Scully. What did you figure out? Tell me what you know. How can we debunk this? And she's all, by the way, here's the implant. And she sets it on the desk. I thought that
they were all making a fool out of her by saying, listen, what are you talking about? You wrote this report up, kind of backing him up, but you got no evidence to show of it. And she gives them the implant. And they're like, oh, did Fox see this? You better believe he did. Thank you, Bubba. Billy shows up in season 7, huh? Okay. Dave can't wait for that episode.
So we also have in Scully's room, Mulder calls middle of the night, and Billy's case file is now gone. So they're starting to erase things. Yeah. And the guy that you see in the corner also walking through this basically storage unit. And
the smoking man.
What do they call it? Warehouse 51? Is that what they call it?
Area 51?
No, but they call it, there's another show, it's called Warehouse.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I forget. There's a specific name for that.
Okay.
It's a huge warehouse full of, I mean, it's like the Vatican vault. I mean, but it's the Pentagon, and you see the sign on the door afterwards. But the smoking man is putting up that little implant vial in a box.
With others.
With others, yes.
And that was so cool, because there were not just like one other. There was like 5 others. There was space for a couple more. And the way that the box closed was really cool. And it really reminded me again, kind of like the Indiana Jones movie, where we're putting the Ark and the Covenant way back in. And by the way, that is filmed at the Smithsonian. But it's the idea that, it's going into a box, never to be talked out again, but we know it's real. And it's an amazing thing.
Cousin Patty with his comical. It's in the center of the Pentagon, right? Yeah, right in the center.
Well, they close the door, and there's a map of the Pentagon on the outside of the door, so we know we're in the Pentagon. So this is a big deal.
You do
And
know, cousin Patty, that the Pentagon, you can go underground and it's about 10 times larger. But anyways, that was funny. Okay, Dave.
yeah. And then my last words on the episode, quote, so good. So good.
So good. Yeah. Let's see. What did I have? Material identify walks by Scully ability to pay paperwork. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Warehouse 13.
Where I think that's it. J.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think
Never
that's
watched.
right.
Yeah. Warehouse 13. I think that's what they call it. Yeah. Yeah. Good. 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 X-Files is on Hulu. Yes, it is. You can watch it there. That's where I watched it.
And Mr. Ed, definitely. I watched it at night, and it needs to be watched at night.
Yeah. Oh, and also, oh yeah, cousin Patty. And also, this is just, I mean, it sets you up perfect. I think for a series that goes on as long as it does in the storyline, first of all, it's a great basic storyline, and when they get deeper and deeper and deeper, and I think what I like so much about X-Files, on top of the great stories, Dave, is you can really, like, there's unanswered questions, and like when you watch the entire like series and then the movies and everything, you look back on things and you go, these are unanswered. Why did this happen? What's with this? I mean, and we'll find this out as we
Are
go.
there going to be some Easter eggs in there as well?
Oh, always Easter eggs
Okay.
in these episodes too. Yeah. But it's constantly keeps you questioning too. And then like how deep does this go? How many people are involved? Who's involved? And then they keep you, in suspense on the whole thing. So it really, really is fantastic. So The Mummy and the Monkey, Comet TV channel 8.3 in Northeast Ohio replays X-Files reruns. Channel 8.3. Wait, what? Oh, Comet TV. Okay. Channel 8.3? I know Comet TV, but I didn't know the channel was 8.3. Is that even a thing still? I don't know if that's Janet or James, but that's funny.
I don't know why I got this in my news feed, but I'm sorry about the one host that you used to have out there. Something in Little John.
Oh, Big Chuck has
Big Chuck and Little John, one of them passed away.
Yeah, he passed away not long ago, sadly, but he lived a long life. I do believe he was 90 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, he lived a long life. I think 90 is a long life. So, I mean, come on. But yeah, there you go. A regular antenna channel. So antenna channel. So, I mean, if we had one of those little dial it in, knob TVs, we would somehow have to get the 8.3. That's pretty interesting. Antenna TV. Okay. I haven't heard of Comet. Yeah, I've heard of Comet. They play a lot of cool stuff. Kind of like Me TV, I mean, different types of stuff, but in the same vein, the older stuff. Anyways, hey, Night Fright Talk Show.
Well, I hope they're not playing Nosferatu.
No. Yeah, and The Mummy and the Monkey, 90 years old. I was correct. Yeah. Well, I listen to you guys when you talk about it. I got your channel on and listen when you guys go. The Harry Scary Hangout. If you guys go to the podcast of the Late Horror Show, there's at least what was it? How many? I think there's like 20 Living the Scream podcasts from The Mummy and the Monkey that they did. Oh my God, how many years ago was it when they first did the Harry Scary Hangover type thing, or the Living the Scream podcast? It's on the Late Horror Show. If you go and do a search for it in iTunes or Google Podcast, it's interesting going back and listening to some of the old Mummy and the Monkey stuff on there. Anyway, anybody who don't know, the Mummy and the Monkey live literally 15 minutes from me, so it's kind of cool. They got some. They're local here in the Cleveland area, as I am. So it's very cool. Anyways, Dave,
I just watched them on the Ghostly Gallery a couple of months ago. Being
you?
interviewed.
Yeah.
I want to talk about our upcoming shows.
Wow. Yes, let's do that. And thank you everybody for the over 100 thumbs up now. I don't know how many we got, but Dave, Yes, what do we got in the future? And I can't wait to do the next one. We have 111 thumbs up. Thank you very much. Appreciate the super chats. Dave, go.
All right. When we see each other again, it's going to be March the 2nd, which is 1 week before daylight savings time switches over. So
Wait, when we see each other again, are we missing a week?
March 2nd is next week.
You got to be kidding me.
No.
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
February ends on Friday. So
23rd, 2nd. Okay, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
what are we doing on the 2nd?
We're doing the Circle of Fear pilot episode called The New House.
Yes, which was originally called Ghost Story back in the 70s. I think somewhere around there, 78, something like that. Am I wrong?
No, that's the correct name of the original series. Yes.
Yes. So this is for chicken soup for Dino. Thank you, Catherine Kelly. Listen, I cannot wait for my throat to feel better and for the cough to stop. And I can't believe I got through this, probably because I kept yapping without coughing as much as I do. But thank you, Catherine Kelly, for the $5 super chat. I really do appreciate that. Overkill with an O, thank you for being here. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
That's okay. After that, we're going to be doing a Art Bell Ghost to Ghost, our monthly Art Bell tribute show,
Yes.
Ghost to Ghost 2001. We're then going to jump to the Wild Wild West, episode 9 already. We've done, this is our 9th episode. Nice. Then I am joining Dino for Night Gallery.
Yes, I cannot wait for that. That has been a great series that I was doing on Saturdays. Then it became something that I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather do this with Dave. I'd enjoy it a little bit more, even though I enjoy talking with you guys. But so Dave's going to join me with talking about that. So I can't wait to talk Night Gallery with him.
Yeah. Then we're going to rotate back to Scooby-Doo. And on April 6th, because I think this is
the podcast. Hey, I sound pretty good doing that, Dave.
We'll do X-Files season 1, episode 2.
Yes. So we got a lot of good stuff lined up, right? Yeah. Nina, hello. Official Xavier 6. Good to see you. I'm not sure I'm going to read that. That's a whole lot of what is going on there. I don't know. Everyone, please let us get Catherine's donation up to 20 likes. Hey, my birthday is March 8th. Check out the description, whether you become a channel member or anything like that. Also, remember, Dino's Duck Soup is going to stream Jack Benny all day tomorrow during the day. There is not going to be a stream overnight tonight, but there will be one tomorrow night. Just letting you know that. Sometimes there's not going to be an overnight. Tonight, there's not going to be one. Anyways, there's another rant I can go on, Dave, but I'm not going to. I think this was a very good discussion. I really had fun, even though I'm still getting over this sickness here I got. But yeah, I really enjoyed this, Dave.
Likewise, I did too, and I'm glad you're feeling better. I can't wait until next week.
Sounds good. And Dave wants the hell out of here, so
I do. I want some coffee, and tonight has been brought to you by NyQuil.
NyQuil, yes. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever, so you can rest medicine.
It's kind of like that McDonald's 2 patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
There you go. Okay, bye everybody. Much love. See ya. Till next week.